Don't let her do all the talking, kid. Once that starts, your life is over.
Oh, shut up.
See what I mean?
Today, we are talking about the awesomest Christmas ever.
What do the lonely do at Christmas?
And this movie is one that I was asked to review, so of course I had to fit it in. And you can find this movie on YouTube and Amazon Prime.
Here's a quick synopsis. When Ollie learns his parents are planning a divorce after the holidays, he and his friends plot a series of wild schemes to keep them together.
But let's dive into the holiday drumroll. I am giving this movie
Snow or a 3.
overall, it was a pretty good movie. I liked how the story in this was different and it focused on a kid whose parents were thinking about divorcing, because I honestly don't think we have many Christmas movies that kind of do that angle. And that is something that is real and relatable to a lot of kids in society today. So I really like that premise, and that was pretty much the focus of this movie too, is this kid was trying to stop his parents from getting divorced and trying to get them to remember how much they love each other and why they're in love, why they're married, all that jazz. Some elements I really liked about this movie is I feel like it was a mix of kid humor and adult humor. So if you're an adult watching this, then you will get some jokes too because they were funny. There's this whole grandfather in this movie that I think he killed it. He was hilarious. He had me cracking up. Like, just all of his lines like were just so funny because he's yeah, like how I started this video. Oh man, the grandfather had me rolling. And there was just a whole like Lindsay Lohan kind of joke thing where the kids are basically trying to use Parent Trap to use that as a directive on how to get this kid's parents to like re-fall in love and not get divorced. But they're confusing Parent Trap with Freaky Friday. And so it's just these kids are talking, and it's kind of like a shout out to like adults who we grew up on this stuff, so we know the difference. But the kids are like, oh yeah, it's this movie, when it's actually not at all. They also, in this movie, there was a talking tree that only the main character could hear. The talking tree had some one-liners, I'm not gonna lie. Like, she was like a sassy little tree talking lady, and she was funny. But at the same time, I don't really know why it was a talking tree, and I didn't really get that. Like, in the beginning, I was like, oh my goodness, this is cool. Is she gonna be like a big character plot in this movie? And then it kind of like sidelined the talking tree a little bit, so I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I will say this movie has some dumb parts, but I really like the story, and I think it is a pretty good watch to kind of, if you're a family that's going through that situation. And I will say this movie, the mom and the dad, I did not like them, especially the dad. To me, were the worst part about this movie, just because the dad was like terrible. He didn't really seem to have the fatherly instinct to his kid at all, and he would always like brush him aside like, oh, I'm busy. And the mom was not much better, but she did try to make more time for the son than I think the father did. So I definitely think the parents were issues, and I kind of wish in this movie we would have dived more into like the problems that were going up. Like, all we really saw was them arguing, and it didn't really dive into like, you didn't really see the love in their marriage at all. So in the end they decided to stay together, but it doesn't really seem like the chemistry is there for them, in my opinion. But overall, I enjoyed it. I thought that it was a very entertaining movie because there are a lot of jokes, and you do laugh in this movie, and it's just kind of something different, which I feel like there's so many Christmas movies out there. So when you have something different, you're excited about it, you want to watch it, and this is definitely one of them. I also feel like in this movie, the kids they towed the line between acting like kids and acting like adults in some parts too. So you kind of have that going on in the movie as well, like kids acting older than their age. And the big thing about this too is in that I know growing up, there's no way I could act like the kids in this movie at all. Like, there's absolutely no way. But, I mean, it works. It's a movie. And another thing is the kids did so good in this movie. It's something about when kids are in a movie and they have a big part. Like, you see how talented they are. And the kids really were talented in this. So kudos to them. They did really, really good. But yeah, if you have seen this movie, let me know what you think. Put it in the comments. I'll see y'all for the next review we do.
This has been another episode of Real Talk with Noelle.